Las Vegas is crass and tacky, long on promise and short on delivery, and not really the sort of place where you'd expect to find Elton John as impresario in residence at Caesar's Palace here on Vegas Boulevard, bringing a quality act to the cheap commercial underbelly of America, the country that gave him his first break 34 years ago. It's a reminder to all of us who are getting on a bit how much Elton John music has been part of our lives.
It's a reminder to me when I look at that screen sometimes. I think, God, did I wear that? God, look at me there.
At 57 years of age, he's in a more reflective mood, taking stock with a collection of songs and images from a career spanning 4 decades.
When it was originally suggested I played in Vegas, I think a lot of people, the alarm bells went off and thought, the old perception of Vegas is it was the graveyard of artists, that's where you go to end your career. And I was well aware of that, and I thought, well, that's not going to happen to me. I want to do a show that's different from all the other shows that are here. That's a live rock and roll concert with incredible production behind it.
I think that is the point, that people come to an Elton John concert with high expectations, because you have a reputation for giving them their money's worth.
You have to deliver. You have to give them try and give them something different from time to time, and you have to deliver the goods.
I was going to leave this for a little later when we knew one another better, but you've already pointed to it. Your comments, your now celebrated comments of Madonna and miming. People expect a good show, don't they?
Yeah.
They're paying for
Well, Madonna puts on a good show. I mean, I was at a music awards show in London, and it was a very irreverent show.
Since when has lip syncing been live? Sorry about that, but I think everyone who lip syncs in public on stage when you pay like 75 quid to see them should be shot.
Music makes the people come together.
Are you surprised when you drop one of these observations?
I know.
The ripples in the pond?
Yeah, it's like I said, I thought Hitler was right or something. It was like the furor it caused. And it's not as if it was like, oh my God, does she really? It's like an open secret, as I said. And I have the greatest respect for her as an artist, especially as a recording artist. And she's been a friend who's come to dinner, but I was just it was probably something I should have bitten my lip on, but as I get older, I'm increasingly prone to not bite my lip.
Getting cranky?
Not cranky, I'm just telling the truth.
Yeah. And will she still be a friend who comes to dinner?
I don't know, but it's going to be a little tense, I think, if we meet.
Tact has never been part of the act. Shooting from the lip, Elton has ruffled as many feathers as he's worn throughout a long career that was often sublime but never subtle. And just when we were wondering where else his act might go, he surprises us yet again. The man and his music have gone back to the beginning. Critics are acclaiming his new album, Peachtree Road, as the best thing Elton has done since those roaring days of the early 70s.
I wasn't doing what I was really good at, and that's sitting at the piano, writing a song on the piano, and doing it the Elton way.
The point is, you got it right about 30 years ago. You can be excused for having wandered away a bit.
No, every artist wanders away. You have to deviate from the course, otherwise you go start raving mad.
It's no coincidence that the lyrics on the latest album have been written by his longtime collaborator, Bernie Taupin. You think about these great collaborations, Lennon, McCartney, Lieber and Stoller. What is it that makes that kind of unity from two people?
Don't know, because Bernie and I have such a...
But no answer to that.
No answer to it. I don't think about it. We don't write in the same room. We don't collaborate. We've never written in the same room. The magic, for example, writing your song at my parents' flat in Northwood Hills in 1968 and 69 when it was written. I wrote it in the living room. He was in the bedroom.
You can tell everybody this is the song.
People would say, these guys write so well in different rooms, how good would they be if they got together?
I think we'd kill each other.
Their success was extraordinary. By the time Elton was 29, he'd sold 80 million albums, but this rocket man with the stellar career could not escape the gravitational pull of drugs and alcohol and a personal life plunging out of control.
I didn't know how to live my life off stage. It was always about hiding and running away.
Behind the big glasses and the famous gap-toothed smile was a young man, deeply scarred and confused by his parents' messy divorce.
I retreated into music, and that's what I did, and that's what my other love became music, and then that was my solace and my joy. And not to say I had a horrible childhood, because I didn't at all, but it's, you know, it's
just
tough.
filled that vacuum that comes.
All my what's the word I'm looking for? All my doubts about myself came as a result of the arguments that my parents had, and you know, confrontation became difficult for me later in life.
You know yourself well, don't you?
I've done a lot of work on myself. When I did get sober in 1990 and clean, you have to do a lot of work on yourself. You just don't get sober and clean by saying, right, I've gone to rehab for 6 weeks, I've come out, I go to a few meetings, and that's, you know, it's great. It's bloody hard for anyone to do who's addicted to get well. And I was taught to listen, which was very new to me, to listen, because I thought I knew everything.
This is rather more Freudian than I was expecting, because I thought that performers use drugs as performance-enhancing drugs, the way that athletes do.
Performance-enhancing never did anything good for me. I mean, I played, unfortunately, and I regret it, live on stage, and you get so paranoid on stage you don't know what you're doing, and in recording and writing, it doesn't help me. I don't think the kind of drugs I took, which were kind of stimulants like cocaine, can possibly help you be creative.
Listen, I get about 7 o'clock in the morning to get here, and I'm f***ing person leaves my f***ing clothes in the car. What the f*** is going on? I know, I mean, that's...
Elton John has now been clean and sober, as they say, for 14 years. A gay man who doesn't hide anything anymore.
Make film. I hate f***ing videos. There are f***ing loads of them. And I tell you this, I am not doing this video.
In 1997, his partner in life, David Furnish, made a warts-and-all documentary about Elton's life. It was appropriately titled Tantrums and Tiaras.
All this amount of work that I put in, and someone leaves a f***ing bag in a car.
And I was determined that was the kind of documentary I wanted to make.
Why did you want to make a story like that about it? I think most people would be tempted to gild the lily a bit.
Any creative artist, whether they're a writer, a director, a performer, a painter, whatever, there is an element of monster in them.
You're shooting yourself in the foot.
I just wanted to show the real me.
Just do 1 hour.
Boring videos. I don't make records to do videos.
You're right.
Is the monster more under control now than ever before?
Yeah, it's always going to be there. It's always going to be there sometimes.
Just
when you're
below the
tired.
surface.
Yeah, below the. It's in every creative person.
And then, in Taiwan last month, at the airport, it looked like the monster had resurfaced with a vengeance.
Yes, f***ing touch you, but throw you through the f***ing window.
But seen from Elton's point of view, it's a different story, in which the singer was set upon by a media pack even before he'd got through immigration.
We've had a great tour of the forest. We come to Taiwan, and it's shit. Thanks to you guys.
It was a half-a-mile walk to immigration, and they were deliberately obstructive. You know, walking back was very slowly, so we couldn't walk. What I didn't realise, of course, being the schmuck that I am, that it was going live on television. But when you get into a confrontational thing like that with someone and tempers rise, you know, then one guy says, you know, why don't you fuck off out of Taiwan? And I said, well, I will if you're all like that. And they just kept on and on and on. And then they were allowed to stand in immigration with us as well for 45 minutes. It's inhuman.
Rude, vile
It's in my country.
You know what I mean? Rude, vile pig. That's what all of you
Get out of
are.
Taiwan.
Hello?
Get out of Taiwan.
Yeah, we'd love to get out of Taiwan.
Yes,
It's full of people like you.
And I just, do I regret saying? Absolutely not. They were rude, vile pigs.
So what they forgot was that you're at your best live.
Yeah, I know. But I didn't realise I was saying it was going all over the world.
Goodbye, this road from the country lost without.
But the live international performance for which he will always be remembered is this version of Candle in the Wind, played at the funeral of the Princess of Wales, the song that's now the biggest seller of all time.
Lived your life like a candle in the wind, never fading with the sunset.
My duty then, as a performer on that day and given the chance to do that, was to be stoic, call on all my professional experience, not to break down.
Your candles burned out long before your legend ever will.
Despite that famous British stoicism, I don't think you've ever forgiven the paparazzi, have you?
No, I don't like the paparazzi. I don't like fame anymore. I was comfortable with it when I was younger, and I would go to the opening of Wallets, and it's different when you're young. I'm 57 now, but my tastes, my thoughts have changed. I'm in a very happy relationship. I don't like being chased around by paparazzi. I like producing records, I like being successful as an artist, but I don't like the celebrity part of it anymore.
In this era of instant fame and cheap celebrity, Elton John is a luminary, a fixed point of radiance amidst a galaxy of mere shooting stars. At 57, he still performs 100 concerts a year. He's releasing his 43rd album and he's raised over $100 million for charity. And still, the Elton John story seems far from over. Anything could yet happen, even the distinct possibility of enduring happiness.
Life is just a great bowl of surprises, and it couldn't be any better for me right now.
We could come back in 10 years if I'm still around and have this same conversation.
I'll be around, don't worry.
You'll be there.
Yeah.
I'll see you there if I'm
All right,
there.
thanks.
Hello, I'm Charles Wooley. Thanks for watching. To keep up with the latest from 60 Minutes Australia, make sure you subscribe to our channel. You can also download the 9Now app for full episodes and other exclusive 60 Minutes content.